are here at Ngozi Talk Shows, Find Your Own Voice, Lead from Within. With me today is Claudia Pasha. Claudia, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
How are you?
Yes, I'm very well. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. So our topic today is a very exciting topic, and hope our audience are going to enjoy the topic. So the topic is that should you be dating a man who is going through divorce? Claudia, I know you chose this topic. And I'm sure our audience would love to know why you chose the topic and why are you so passionate about the topic. Please.
Sure. Well, to be honest as well, I'm not sure if you ever had this topic in the show, so I'm not sure. I can't recall anything like this in the past, and then it just popped up, and it's actually a major topic, yeah. That to talk about and to discuss things and just to share opinions, because in the end as well, for dating someone who's going through divorce, there is I don't think there is a real criteria to say that for dating someone who's going through divorce, I don't think we can label it like that, rather than coming up with questions for, does he seem emotionally ready for a relationship, or is he truly accepting as well that the marriage is over? For example, as well, what's important to understand, does he have any hopes of getting back again with his ex? And does he seem checked out of his marriage? For example, that he's not talking about it every second. So just like these are a few things which I think are more important rather than actually him going through divorce, if you know what I mean, yeah? And if he is really interested as well in the next relationship rather than just having a girlfriend for quick fix, yeah? So I think these were quite a few important things to identify with a man who's just in this separating and divorcing process. What do you think, or what are your experiences or with your clients as well? What have you found here? You are on mute, actually.
I am muted, am I? So for me, if you go to my website, I don't take men who are still separated, who are still going through divorce, because that can, there are some situation that can cause mess to our clients if someone is still married and they're still separated. It depends there are some people who are separated because they choose, because the divorce is very costly, they choose not to go through the divorce, and then they are ready to move on with their lives. But then when it's time to go through that divorce, there's so much finances. If there is children involved, things can get messy. And there are some people, depends. Some people, they're divorced, they're separated. It depends with someone else's situation, but I choose not my clients to actually go through that messy, because things can get messy. So I like when somebody comes and register, their final divorce is final, and the clients don't have to put up with the pain. They don't have to go through the challenges that people go through divorce, because divorce can be really, really messy. And mostly when there is children, and when somebody else, and even if there is no children, or if there is money and children, it can be really, really messy. But you find that there are some people that go through divorce, everything goes smooth, they are ready to move on, they sit down and they come to an agreement, but you don't know, you just don't know. So for me, I will say, if you are ready, you don't mind to go through the stress, you want to support, because when you start a relationship, if you date somebody who is going through divorce, you get to know them. And when they go to court and the problems, everything just get messed up. You don't really get to know them properly. Because of that, it comes in the way you don't get to fully enjoy that relationship. So I think that's the reason why I don't want my clients to be caught up in that. I don't know, Claudia, what you think about this. For me, basically, my suggestion is if somebody is going through divorce, you'll find there are men and men that are ready to go through divorce, and their spouse, they're really happy for them to go through it. They go to court, they want to give them that final documents of the divorce. Like one of my friends, she just gone through divorce. She didn't really complain. Her divorce went through smoothly, and which is that's what you want for someone. So I don't know, what do you think, Claudia?
I think as well, it's important to know what one wants to begin with when they are going out to do some dating again. And it's important, just like to understand, okay, would I want to go for a man who is in this specific situation as well right now? So I think, just like to understand what are the criteria as well for a woman to have in the man. So but I do have to say as well, I'm one actually of the women, the partner I'm with right now has been going through divorce as well when I met him. So just like I can just speak out of my own experience. And to be honest as well, just looking back now, I think as well, I would always as well inform my clients, just be aware of what it is you want in the relationship. Do you want him to be just single and divorced already, or it doesn't matter as well for you? Because in the end, as well, as you said, it is just like the problems and all this fighting and this energy of things not being resolved that is always going to linger around them. And it was as well in my experience, but somehow, I don't know, I think I was lucky because I did meet a man who already had the cut as well with this previous relationship, and he was like love in his life. Obviously, I wasn't the first relationship for him or the first date after him being separated. So he had a few experiences, encounters before me until he found me. And this is where he thought, okay, this is actually what I would like in my next relationship and what I would like in the woman. Because if I would have met him right soon after he got separated, he said to me as well, it would not have been a good match because he needed to go as well on a few dates for him to find out what he wants and what he doesn't want in the next partner after him being separated. So we were just, I don't know, lucky to have met at the right time. And therefore as well, it did work out and we're still together, and he is divorced and we bought a house together and it works all fine as well with the children and so on. I mean, my case has been good, even though as well, it's not been always easy to put up as well with this energy around, fighting and, just like arguing and so on forward. But in the end as well, it's been, yes, it did work out.
Yes, I think even the lawyers, they don't suggest someone dating while they're going through divorce because, like I said before, when you go through trial of divorce, nowadays the divorce is not like the old generation. The now generation, divorce is like a business. So that's why they don't suggest clients people dating while there's people that are still going through divorce, because when you go through divorce trial is mostly when someone has money, it gets really messy. And if you are really, really lucky and find someone that is really, really focusing on what they want in life, then you can succeed emotionally. Not every divorce has painful memories. Some people have good memories. Some people, life goes smooth and everything. But for me, what I've always said was, when I was dating, if I date someone who has got children, like younger children, I know myself, when I dated my spouse, my daughter, she was, I think, 10 years old, or 9 years, 7 years old. Yeah, she was young. But I know that I know what I want in life. And her father got married as well. At the same time, I kept away from their relationship with his wife. For me, I just focused on him, making sure that he's there for his daughter, but I never interfered. But you may find that some people use children to actually get to their ex, and they use all the kids, this. For me, it was like, I had to train my daughter how to communicate her want to her father. And so she will tell her dad what she wants, and they just, between them, they will arrange me. I just get told this is what we are doing. Because when you date somebody who's got kids, who is going through divorce, sometimes things can be really bad. Sometimes it can be a blessing. It's not that all bad things. It can be a blessing, depending on the mindset of a person. Like you, Claudia, you guys have actually managed to do things together, getting a home together, and just settling in and doing the things that you want. So it's actually rare to find people like that. But they are out there, people that they want. And anyone who is watching, please, you can actually tell us your story, what you think about, should you date someone who is going through divorce, or should you not? Or if you have had experience yourself, and please feel free to type. And also type, and I'm sure our community and Gospel Talk Shows community will love to hear your comment. So feel free to type and let us know what you think about this topic. Should you date someone who is going through divorce, or should you not? And Claudia, we just want to ask you from your experience. I've never dated someone who is going through divorce. I always stay away from the men that are going through divorce, because I don't want no stress in my life. And I always said, if someone, they say the word I'm married and they're divorced, I'm like, go do your final divorce and come back. I'll be waiting for you. And I know they're never gonna come back. So what has your experience been?
Yeah, I don't think I would go through this as well, just because of the stress factor you just mentioned. It does affect you, and it is actually as well a bit of an ongoing process. So today, looking back, I would not have done it again. So I don't know as well what I was thinking, if you know what I mean. But I still remember my manifestation list as well. I did put that I want the guy to be single and available, and I mean, yes, this was the case. So just like I didn't have, I didn't put the divorced on the paper. So it's just like a little, just like a little memory, because afterwards I was like thinking of the points I was putting as a criterion. I got them fulfilled, but it is actually as well, you could just be specific, absolutely be specific as you can, because the universe is like, okay, here, you got him, he's free and everything, but actually, just really ask for the stuff you want. And yes, the stress, I wouldn't do it again, to be honest. But looking back, it's always, the lesson in it, the negative part, yes, but then as well the positive part of it too, because we always have to see like, what's the blessing as well here, you know? And then I did understand as well that it's about judging as well here. We do tend to judge people, you know? I mean, it's what we do, right? So it's just like not to judge people when they are really there and they do want to start dating again, even though they are not officially divorced yet. Just don't judge them. Because actually thinking, if you know them later on and all the stories are different, so we can't say it's just one story for all of the people. It is just like we can't really judge until we know the whole story, you know, because the chances are as well that they have spent years unhappy already in this relationship, feeling lonely, knowing as well that the marriage was over and they just stayed in it because for the kids' sake and so on. So, I mean, really, they could be divorced emotionally, but the process just takes a while of getting divorced, right? So these are the lessons I understood as the good things, Nomsa.
Oh yeah, I think you are right when you say we shouldn't judge people. I think that is very, very important not to judge people, not to come from a judgmental place. But for me, I will say if someone they say they're going through divorce, but they're still living with their spouse, I think that story is different because they might change their mind and you find yourself emotionally and being caught up in this love triangle cycle. If they say, okay, I'm divorcing, but we are separated, we are not living together, this is where I live separate, and you can see that the person is telling you the truth. Because what happens is people decide to go through divorce. Through the process of that divorce, when they're living together, they're like, they decide how much is going to cost them, or some people go through therapy and then they find out actually this is not what they want to go through. They want to stay together, and you find that a woman or a man has put himself in the middle. Now there's three people, and then you get caught up in that love triangle. And that can really, really destroy someone's life when a man or a woman comes back and say, actually, I've changed my mind. I've decided to stay with my wife, or I've decided to stay with my husband. So for me, if somebody comes to you and say, I'm looking for love, I am separated, you have to look at the situation as the individual. Just look deep and decide whether that situation, without feeling sorry for a man or without feeling sorry for a woman. There are some people who date people because they feel sorry for them, and look at the situation whether if I date this person now, are we gonna be okay if he's saying they're separated or they're living together? And is this environment good for me? But if they're separated and they're living together, and it means they're in the road of making it final. Because sometimes people they decide to go through the divorce, but because of the stress and they decide not to do it, take time to go to court and stuff. So look at the situation as the individual. Don't go to a judgmental place. Evaluate the situation. When you evaluate the situation and look at your life, is this going to work for me as a person? What is it going to do mentally, physically, emotionally? Your mindset, what is it going to do this person? Are they who they say they are? They're saying they're separated. Are they really, really telling you the truth? So you're going to have to take time instead of jumping into serious relationship, so that you don't make the bad decision, because at the end of the day, somebody will get hurt. And then if you decide to come into this love triangle, somebody will get hurt. But there are some people who are actually go through divorce, Emotionally, they are no longer there anymore in their past relationship. They've moved on and they want to live their lives. They want to start again. And even though they are separated, they are ready to go through the divorce. They know exactly what they want. So if you find that man or you find that man, you can, if you believe that this is the man of my dreams, this is the woman I should be with, why not date them? You can date them depending on evaluating the situation as individual. I don't know, what do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, love is exciting, you know, if we can see it as well like this, then yeah, we would not get as well eventually as well like, so yeah, we would understand when we make certain decisions what could come with it as well, if we understand this, you know. And absolutely, and it's a feeling, you know, I mean, when you really feel like you want to give it a go. And I think it's always important to get to know them as well, and then to see that you understand as well who they really are. And maybe as well, if you would not have swiped to the other side, you would have never found it out this way as well. But obviously then as well on the other side, if this is a deal breaker for you, I totally get it as well, and this is understandable too, because we have to know as well our deal breaker criteria. We have to have them as well, and to follow through with them too, and say, okay, no, thank you, it's just not for me. So yeah, both ways. It's just like, I think in the end as well, it's a personal thing, you know, it's really personal, and we can't really say it's right or wrong. We can just point out a few things and really hope as well that the man or the woman that who is going through divorce is serious as well, as serious as the other party too, so that yeah, it's just like that they both want the same and they are not coming into it with any false promises or ideas, and so, and expectations as well, I think.
Yeah, I actually agree with you, Claudia. And also, it's important to find out how long have they been separated, and ask those questions. Don't be afraid of asking the questions. How long have you been separated? If someone says they really, really like you, and then find out how did they decide to actually go through the separation? Was it an agreement, or what went on? Do they still live together in the same house, or are they actually living in a separation house? I'll find out if is there going to be any reconciliation. And when you find out, somebody look at their body language. A man or a woman who is free, who is ready to move on, you would tell from their body language that this person has moved on. But if there's still some hold inside, that means there is still something that that person is still working on. When you ask questions, if somebody looks at you in the eye, they are freely answering the questions. And even if they have kids, look at them in the eye, because you want to know that you're not going to get caught up in this thing where somebody comes to you and say, I have decided to go back to the mother of my child or the father of my child because we have kids together. We have decided to reconcile. Just look them in the eye and ask them if they are not divorced, they are separated. Ask questions. So when are you planning to divorce? Because you are saying you want to have a relationship with me. When are you planning to divorce your wife, or when are you planning to divorce your husband? And have you both agreed to actually date other people? And Also look at the body language. Don't do it as an interview. Anything that comes to a place of ego or interview, like you look at somebody and feel that you are interviewing them, the answers might be different, but anything, questions that comes out of love, out of care, relating to the situation and getting into that person's mind, Tony Robbins says the world, and just getting to know them. And also don't feel sorry for them if their divorce is messed up. It's not your mess to get into that love cycle, love triangle. You are not there to get into feeling sorry for people. If it's messed up, it's messed up. That person has put themselves in that situation. God has put them, or the devil has put them in that situation for them to deal with that mess. If you feel that this is messed up, it's not for me, then it's not for you. Just move on without being judgmental. Just say, you know what? I am really, really honored that you want to go out with me, you want to date me, but at this moment, I don't feel that if we're going to have a loving and passionate and caring relationship. I feel that you shouldn't start. There are some people that I've met myself, they want to join the agency. I ask the questions, but then I'm like, I don't think you are ready to date. I think you need to actually emotionally, you need to work on yourself first, because people might think they're ready, but they're not. So it's up to you. Any audience that is watching, is up to you to evaluate the situation as individual. If somebody are going through separation, but if you feel like this one, I love this person, not like we're not talking about deep love or fantasy. You know what? I love the person, what kind of person they are. They are passionate and they seem ready to have moved on. Then you can date them based on your feelings, based on what, not just because the guy he goes to the gym 7 days a week, he's got good looking, he's 6 foot. You don't date somebody because they're good looking. What's on the inside of a person is greater than what's on the outside. What's on the inside of a person is greater than what's on the outside. So we don't date people because we feel like, you know what, although have you ever heard the girls when they speak? They're like, wow, although he's got problems, but he's so good looking. I just feel like I want to eat him. And, or she is so good looking. And, you know, have you seen her boobs, her bums? Have you seen how she walks? Oh, my God. And the man is like, although she's got problems, but I just want to hold her. I just want to spend time with her. That's not love. That's no relationship.
No.
When you are looking to date somebody, you have to go deep. You have to. It's more than the looks. It's more than she has a good smile. It's more than she walks, how she speaks. A woman has to have brains. It has to have everything. It has to have balance. Everything. You just have to balance. If everything balances together, even if they're separated, you know that if I date this person, I'm going to be happy. You know, you just know it inside. But if you don't have that feelings, or you have the fantasy feelings where you've been hurt before, and this one, when they speak, they make you feel good, and you just want to date them because, wow, they are yummy, and they're looking good, they have a nice body, they have a good job, they're millionaires, and you just want to put yourself out with them, then you're going to get hurt. Yeah. So what do you think, Claudia?
Yes, absolutely. What you said earlier in regards to, what was it again? Ask questions. This is as well what I did. Okay, so in my example as well, they already lived separate in 2 houses. So absolutely, this is always a good feeling, because you can see more that it's true what he's saying, and it's the intention as well, versus then, they're still together in the house. And yes, ask a question to get them to know better, so that you can get your own picture as well of the situation, and then just listen to your intuition as well. I'm sure as well, we've been in the past, we met someone, dated them a bit, and you had this, I don't know, weird feeling. You just know sometimes, or versus where you understand it's a good feeling and you see the whole situation, they talk to you, but you still decide, okay, I'm going to go ahead with this. So it's a feeling as well. Listen to your intuition, because you'd be surprised as well how your intuition is always talking to you and giving you as well the information you need if something is good for you. When something is good for you, the situation, the person, the job, whatever it is, it feels expanded. And we have all been in this feeling. It feels good. It's expansion, and you just know it. Thereby, then something is just not good for you. It's a detraction, it's a small feeling. It feels suffocating. So, and this is actually as well the answer, that something is a no here too. So absolutely go for, listen to your intuition as well, and then make your own decision. And something important as well, as you said as well, it's their mess. Absolutely. Whatever has been going on between two people, I did understand it as well, because at some point already in the past, I decided I'm not going to be the therapist for my partner or the mother, or, so it's not my job. We are two partners and we meet equally. So I'm not going to be, someone their therapist. So if it's messy, it's between them. I did understand this as well. No matter what is going on between people, it's always between them. So I might have as well my situations, interactions with people where it's a bit challenging, but so does as well, the partner we are dating was going through divorce, and then to understand as well, it's between them, and you stay out of it, even though it is affecting you on some level. But when you decide, actually, I'm going to stay as much out of it as I can, you can preserve as well your well-being and the energy as well around it. So this is as well a little tip too, just like understand between them, it's their learnings, it's their karmic contract, nothing to do with me here, I've got a different karmic contract with the person I'm dating, who is going through divorce, but so do they still have with their ex. So
I think it's important what you're saying, Claudia, that you don't get involved in, you don't play therapist to your spouse, because that's not what you are there in the first place. You are there to actually enjoy the relationship. If it comes to a point where you have to play therapist, we are there to be mentor to our spouse. We are there to actually guide each other through. And for me, I see that God is there to guide me through my relationship. But when my relationship, it turns out to be the ex is just pulling my relationship, or things are messy, then that's when I have to ask myself. But then you have to, and also like what you said before, we shouldn't come in a judgmental place. You may find that your spouse are actually ready to actually move on, but the ex is a pain. Is a pain. Some people decide to make their exes a living hell. So, and also in that place, that's when, if people are in a relationship where they've decided to date each other, not to get involved, because your spouse need to know the boundaries, what you can tolerate and what you can't tolerate. And they also need to put boundaries to their ex-partners. There are things that you can do to somebody, but there are things that you can't. And that's why it's very, very important to actually look at the divorce. How long have these people divorced? And the reason, what was the reason they divorced? Did you cheat on your wife, or did you cheat on your husband, and things like that. And if somebody cheated on them and they want to come to you, then you have to go deep to make sure that it's not going to happen to you. You have to communicate your want, and also find out if they have children, parents' duties, and also we don't gonna come to a judgmental place. There are some men and women out there who love to be there for their children, but the exes, they make life very, very hard, like I said before. So we're not gonna come to a place just because this person, your life, your ex is making your life a living hell with your children, so I'm not gonna date you. So we're not gonna come to that place, because if you are somebody like who come to a place where you are into personal development, and you are somebody who loves God, like myself, I love God, and I don't get caught up in people's problems. I can support someone. I can ask you, what part do you want me to play in these problems that you are going through? But I don't want to be part of battles that are not mine. If somebody is having battles with their ex, there's got to be boundaries. That I would request, that there's got to be boundaries. And also the ex needs to know their boundaries as well, because otherwise some people, they just love to mess people's lives. And that's like I said before, the divorce is something. When you're dating someone who's going through divorce, you have to look at their situation and look at your situation as well, and evaluate everything. When you evaluate things, you are putting you first. Will I be able to cope in this situation? Will I be able, with this person, be able, like if you are somebody who wants to get married again, and that person, they are being messed up by their ex, are they in a place where they see marriage as a curse? And you want to date them? So if you want to get married, date somebody who's passionate about marriage, to say, I don't mind getting to know you maybe one day. So you can't force somebody to actually tell you the answer and say, yes, I'm going to marry you, because you might not be the person they want to marry. They need to get to know you first and then decide if this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life. So I think in that one, we have to be very, very clear. There are some people that when they meet people, they want to know if they're going to marry them. For me, if a man tells me that, if a man says to me that, yes, I'm looking to get married one day in the future, that's good enough for me. But if they say, you know what, I want to marry you without getting to know me, I'm going to find it very creepy. So let them get to know you, and you get to know them as well. Once you get to know them, the marriage will come natural. And also, don't let a family pressure you to do things that you don't want to do. I was listening to one of the pastors yesterday. He was saying, whatever you do in life, don't let people pressure you. Life is a step by step, that a decision has to be made from the heart. It has to be made as a choice. So when you choose to get married, when you choose to date somebody who is separated, it has to be your choice. So you don't have regrets. It has to be a choice, and you have to go all in. You can't just decide and say, I'm going to go in and then I'm going to decide to get out. Go all in. Get to know somebody. If you decide that is not for you, no one knows the future anyway. So for me, that's what I'm going to say, Claudia. I don't know with you. Just say go all in, get to know someone. And if everything goes smooth, who knows the future? No one knows the future.
Yes, absolutely. It's a feeling in this very moment, and we always have the choice to choose, and we don't want to have as well regrets later on.
Yeah.
We really felt attracted, and we felt there was, like a very good connection, a good feeling. So no regrets. And to understand as well that going through a divorce does not mean that someone is ready, does not mean someone is ready to date, and not having a divorce yet does not mean someone isn't ready to date. Okay, so it's just, yeah, a bit like what we said earlier. We can't really say it's right or wrong here.
Yeah.
So it's more really, it's personal. We have to decide, because we decide every, step in our life. So in this situation, it's our own decision. Yeah, it's our own decision. And to understand this as well, it's the beauty about it, because to be honest as well, looking back, all the dates I had, and they were as well like separated men in the past, but they just didn't play a big role in my life, but like they all led me to the current, to the real important relationship. Yeah, all the small interactions we had in the past, even though they didn't last long and they didn't mean a lot, but like we always learned something, and they prepare us for the important relationship. This is how I see it. Even though if it's, a bit upset or sad at some point, as it was not like, both sides, but it is what it is as well sometimes.
Yeah, life is a choice. For me, if you feel that this is what God wants you, this is where God wants you to be, because a relationship with yourself, a relationship with what you want, a relationship with God is all personal. So if you believe that this is the man that I want to be with, and this is the woman that I want to be with, but as long as there is no pain, as long as there is no stress, relationship does not start with therapist and pain and a complication, a life triangle, and all this, the list goes on, where you find somebody, they put themselves in the situation. And then you ask yourself, and you are like, but you said you were dating, looking for a relationship. You never said you were looking for problems. And they're like, but I love the guy. The guy makes me feel good. How does the guy makes you feel good? He's good looking. When you ask a woman, how does it makes you feel good? He's good looking. He goes to the gym 7 days a week. He has a good job. I'm like, give me something that makes sense, something that I can hold on, something that has value here. When you say somebody it makes you feel good, how do they make you feel good? Because the relationship is not all about feelings, it's not all about sex, it's not all about the good looking, it goes deep. So if a relationship from the beginning starts with the looks, it starts with how much money they earn, then it is not going to work. But relationship has to have the traits, the things that you look for. They've got to be there. If they're not there, you holding on to the woman is good looking, she's got nice boobs, she has with the way she dresses, the way she walks, the way she speaks, and she's amazing. If that's all you got, then you're gonna have a proper problems. When you meet somebody, there's got to be, you have this movie, that what you want, the life that you imagine you should have in your life. And when you meet that person, imagine yourself, the things that you've been manifesting, the prayers you've been asking God, saying, God, I'm looking for somebody to get married. I'm looking for somebody who's going to do this, who's going to be this. And if you are that, and that person, they're not that, just evaluate everything and rewrite whatever the story you want to rewrite, and let that story be a beautiful story. But that story, it comes with your choice. It has to be a choice. And that's why when people go to a matchmaker does all the work for you. They does all the psychology talking, the asking questions, is this person ready for dating? We do everything. Before you get into the place of dating, you just go and enjoy the dating and get to choose no or yes. That's why you get to do. We get to do all the stress, all the interviews, all the evaluation, all the defining whether this person, are they ready to go on dating, or this person is still holding on to their exes, or they have issues they need to deal with before they move forward. So we do all that. We stand between you and the problems. By the time you get there, for you to go on dates, everything has been dealt with, and that person have done the coaching, or sometimes some people have done loads of coaching and they're actually ready to go on dates. There are some people that you meet, they're like, I've gone through so much pain in my life, and the only way for me to get out of it was for me to work on myself, self-love. Some people, they are just like ready to put themselves out there, but there are some who just pick men because, you know what, he is good looking and he makes me smile, he makes me do this, when I meet him, he makes me feel good. If you want to date Nomsa, you're going to have to do more than making me feel good. I don't do the interview for men, but when I meet a man, I am so playful, honey. I just play the game. I play the game in a way that I will actually get to the bottom of, are you ready to date me, or are you ready to date somebody? If I was single, but unfortunately I'm not. So that you have to know, as a woman, you have to know how to play the game. There are some people who have been hurt and they make a mistake when they meet a man, they interview them in a way, they feel frustrated. You have to know how to be playful. You have to know how to come into a loving and caring place where a man, if they were lying to you, they would just say, you know what? I don't think I'm ready to go on a date. Just ask questions, be very, very playful. Like myself, I'm from Africa. Like if I was to meet somebody who is single, who is separated, who's still in love with their wife, but they are lying, they are confused, they just want to date somebody for fun, and they meet me, they're like, I'm looking for a woman. I'm like, okay, honey, this is how we're gonna get it done. So I'll just play funny until they're like, what am I doing? This is not what I want. And they're like, I don't think so, Nomsa. I'm not looking for someone to date serious. I'm like, okay. And also the rejection, Claudia, what would you say to somebody who meets men? Just before we leave, we said we're going to be here for half an hour. I think we've been here more than an hour. Half an hour. What would you say to somebody who, when they meet men or women and they get told no, like the man says, I'm not attracted to you, and they start blaming themselves, what advice would you give them? People who go through relationships and if someone is not attracted to them, they struggle to accept that.
Okay, yeah, it's true. I've been there too in the past, actually. No? Yeah, I met men and they were not into me as well. I had this too, and then I was always upset and like, yeah, she's really, yeah. Okay, so very important. And then I learned as well, when we, I'm a believer in manifesting, asking the things I would love to manifest from the universe. And for relationship, I did put down as well the qualities in the man I would like to have, and as well the feelings, how I would like to feel with him. So not just the qualities, as well the feeling, how it feels, how he makes me feel. But one important thing is to attract and to ask for someone who is in love with us and we are in love with him, yeah? Because to begin with, when we do this manifestation thing to get the partner, we write down the qualities in like honesty and funny and healthy and sexy and all the things. But like down the line, I was always coming back and adding more things to the list when I had this dates and something what was just odd. And then I was just looking at me and yeah, so this is important to ask for someone who is in love with you and you are in love with them too. And as well, if you have a monogamy gene in you and this is important for you, ask for someone as well back who has this same belief of just being with one person in the relationship as well. So this can be as well like a mixed match. You get someone, everything fits, but he's just not a believer of just one person. So, but these things you can always, how do you say, improve when you go on dates, and then you come to the list and add more and more things onto it. And one thing as well, I saw with my example here that my partner was married for 18 years. So I could see the man can commit. Yeah. The man is able to commit. So this was actually as well a positive thing for him to be married previously, because he was able to commit and there was no cheating involved. So another bonus as well. So actually, I could already, because when you spend time with them and you get them to know at the beginning, you can already form as well a picture of who they are, and as well by them being in that previous marriage too. So it gives you as well an idea. So it can actually be beneficial as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Claudia. For me, I'm going to leave you with this. For me, how I do things is I don't. I write down the things that I desire in my heart. There's a movie that the life or the kind of, I take out the kind of men that are the looks of what kind of the looks, the men, how the men should look like. I take that out, but I have a movie of playing the life, how my life should look like. And then this is where I come to God. And then I don't write down to say the list, how I'm going to spend time with that person, because I already know what I want to do in life. But I have to go to God now because he knows how messed up my life has been. So I have to say, God, you know how my life has been messed up. You know the people, how hurt my life has been, the disappointment, the shame, the guilt that I've been through. All I ask in your name, for those who are Christians, for me, I put it all out there. All I ask in your name, give me the man that you believe is going to complement my life. So everyone has the different ways they do things. For me, it's like I just have to put it to God and say, because God knows what you've been through. If you believe in the universe also know what you have been through. And also, when you do ask these things, like what Claudia says, you write down everything in the list of your desires, and make sure you are ready as well to actually receive those things. Because there are some people that will write down everything. They'll be saying, I want this, but not ready. When I'm by meaning ready, it means wherever you go, you are ready. Look wise, dress wise, smile wise. You are on the alert. Like you are up. When a man comes to you, they're saying hello. You don't get grumpy looking at them and say, what do you want from me? You say, hi, how are you? Lovely weather today. Yes, you communicate with them, even if they are married, because you don't know how a man is going to enter your life. That man might be greeting you because the day is beautiful. So it means you have to be ready to date. Being ready to date, it means when you step outside, you walk like somebody who is single. You're not like desperate, but you're happy. Work on the smile in front of the mirror. Work on the saying hello. Where do your men shops? Go on women. Go to the shops where they shops and look happy. And when you don't expect, that's when God gives you something that you don't expect. So we don't say we are single. But we are so grumpy. When we get out, we step outside, we get in the car, you're like, neighbors say hello, you're like, oh, what does she want now? Just say hello, because you don't know. You may find your wife at the bus stop, train station. You may find them at the supermarket where you buy food, where you shop food. Do you know where I found mine? Oh my God, I found mine in the pub. You know what? The man wanted to show me that he's an Englishman, he can dance, and I looked at him. I don't drink or smoke. And
I know the story.
Oh yeah, I was like, this one, I'm gonna teach him a lesson. I'm gonna show him how we move in Africa. So we went on the dance floor. And how I gave him my number because I was so happy. And he asked me for my number after, and I was like, he's drunk, he's not going to remember me. So I just gave him my number for fun. I didn't judge him or anything. I was like, I'm not drunk, he's drunk, he's not going to remember my number. And then 2 weeks later, he called me, and he was like, and guess what? When he called, where was I think I was helping somebody, and he goes, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm helping someone, they're lost, so I'm getting them home. So I was like, hey, okay. So you know what, when I was talking to you, the way you were dancing, I thought you were naughty girl. And I was like, how did you work that out? Judgmental, you're being judgmental. So I was like, oh, okay. So that's how the love story began. So never ever judge anyone. And I am someone that I go out with my friends, they're drunk. When men are drunk, they ask me for my number. I don't really take them very serious. Never gave anyone my number, but because I was like, God, you know my story. My story has been so painful when it comes to men, but he gave me what I have asked him. And at that moment, I was alert to actually accept and receive. And although he's a very good looking guy, he goes to the gym, his body looks so beautiful, but to me, that was not an attraction. I wanted to know what was inside. I put him on the place where I see the guy, he's sweating. He's like drinking beer. And I was like, no, you don't have to drink beer. We can have fun. So I could see that he was like, he didn't answer me or lie. He was really, really honest with everything. And I could see that, you know what, because he was honest. And I was like, I'm going to date him because he's just been honest with me. And that's why I decided to go out with him, because he answered the questions really, really the way that I expected. Like, do you want to get married one day? He never said to Nomsa, I want to marry you. And he was like, yeah, if I find the right woman that wants to get married, why not? But he never spoke like to say, because if he had said, yeah, you're a good looking woman, I want to marry you, I would have said, get lost. You don't tell me you want to marry me if you don't know me. So you have to get to know me. So Claudia, any words of encouragement to our audience?
I just said something. I forgot. Oh, gosh. Just, sorry, no, just like, yeah, no. Sorry, it fell off. No, sorry, no. But thank you so much for listening as well today and joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening to us and joining us, and know that love is a choice. Never ever let anyone tell you that you're not good enough. Or even if you meet somebody who is married, evaluate the situation based on your story, based on their story, not a feeling sorry club. We don't date people because we feel sorry for them. We date them because we want to go all in. We want to have fun. We want to have argument that is end with grace. We don't want to end up being caught up in their exes, in their blah, 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 you name it. So just date somebody because you feel that it feels good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's a choice that you have chosen. And if that choice makes you feel good, just go ahead and have fun. Don't fear, even if you've been hurt before. There are men out there who have gone through divorce. There are women out there who have gone through divorce. Don't be afraid to enter another relationship because of who hurt you back then.
Actually, I've got something I would love to say. So yeah, and don't be like disencouraged if there is someone you really like and he or she's going through a divorce, because in the end it can go well and you can end up together in a new home and planning for the future, because this is the case in my
and the future is the one you create yourself.
Yeah, it's possible. Absolutely.
God bless.
Yes, absolutely.
Live with Grace Nkosi Talk Shows family. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also head to Nkosi Talk Shows page. If you feel that you want to help Nkosi Talk Shows, support Nkosi Talk Shows to reach more audience, and please give us some stars. And those stars will help us to actually reach more people in our community. And if you want to connect with the other coaches, please, Claudia, you can connect with Claudia at Nkosi Talk Shows page, or you can connect with her. If you can't get hold of her through her social media, you can follow me and you text me, if you message me or email me to find Claudia or to find any other coaches, you have them within 5 minutes, because I'm always on speed dial for them. So just get in touch. And if you are looking for love and you're not looking for gains, head over to Hope Springs Eternal Introduction Agency and register. Get in touch with me. My process is very, very different. I meet my clients face to face and get to know them, get to know what they really want, what's worked in the past, what hasn't worked, how can I help you move forward. And men, they are my clients. Women are members. So men, we meet at home. So if you are a man, you are looking to get into Hope Springs Eternal Introduction Agency, the process, we have to come to your own home, because I need to know my girls are gonna be safe. Your own home is where me and my team are gonna get to know you very well and know that they are in the right hands. When I'm connecting you with a woman, I know that woman is going to be in the right hands. So that's why matchmaking is expensive, but is the solution. God bless. Live with grace. Claudia, you're going to have to log us off.
I do it.